Bear with me on this. I'm not here to change your beliefs or prove anyone wrong. I'm simply offering a perspective. You're free to take whatever the heck resonates and discard the mother freaking rest, okay? There is so much division right now. We've got God versus science, faith versus logic, spirituality versus biology, and the universe versus religion. But what if the conflict itself is the misunderstanding? What if we're not actually disagreeing about truth, but about the language we use to describe it? Let me ask you something. Have you ever walked into a room and immediately felt tension or peace without a single word being spoken? Have you ever felt calmer in nature? Or have you felt overwhelmed in chaotic situations, or maybe even deeply connected to somebody that you haven't even met yet? What do you call that experience? Some people call it mood, some call it intuition, some call it energy, and some call it the presence of God. Some also recognize it as guidance or protection or a quiet nudge from spirit, what others might call spirit guides, guardian angels, or archangels. Different names, same experience. Our brains operate through electrical signals. Our hearts send measurable amounts of information throughout our bodies. Light affects our sleep and our hormones. Stress weakens the immune system. And love changes behavior and biology. If emotion can alter chemistry and awareness can change outcomes, is that controversial or simply how life works? Science explains how things function. Faith asks why anything exists at all. Those questions aren't enemies. They exist on different layers. You know, a mechanic can explain how an engine works, but that doesn't explain why the car was built or where the heck it's meant to go. So what if God isn't competing with science? What if God is a source that made a system worth studying in the first place? The universe operates through order and relationship. Gravity moves oceans. Light regulates circadian rhythms. And seasons influence behavior and biology. So when people speak of the universe influencing us, are they talking about control or connection? And when we speak of divine guidance, angels, or spiritual protection, are we describing something separate from reality or a relational intelligence woven into it? When people talk about the law of attraction, it's often misunderstood. It isn't magical wishing, it's feedback. What you focus on shapes what you notice. What you believe shapes how you act, and how you act shapes your outcome. Awareness changes direction. Evolution explains how life adapts over time. Faith explains why life exists at all. Spiritual wisdom speaks to purpose, meaning, and guidance, and none of these cancel each other out unless we insist that they must. So here's another question. Why do some people heal against the odds, while others with the same treatment don't? Why does hope strengthen the body while despair weakens it? If belief can contribute to illness, why is it so hard to accept that belief, faith, trust, and surrender might also support healing? I didn't change because someone convinced me. I changed because at some point I chose awareness. And when my inner world shifted, my choices shifted, my patterns shifted, and my life followed. You don't have to call that spiritual. You don't have to call it scientific. And you don't have to call it divine or energetic. But you do have to admit that us humans are capable of profound transformation when awareness changes. And maybe there is one source expressed through many languages. Maybe God, science, energy, and the universe and spiritual guidance aren't in conflict at all. Maybe the conflict exists only in how we've been taught to separate them. Think about that. Now, what if truth doesn't require agreement, just awareness? What if belief isn't the doorway, but experience is? And what if we were never meant to argue about names, but to recognize the same reality through different lenses? I told you all I think really freaking deep. So anyways, you don't have to believe what I believe. Just stay curious, because curiosity is where the truth begins, my friends.